So you still have a life to lead. So you cannot save 100% unless you go to some other extracurricular activities that are giving you other money that you're not paying tax for. So between 5% and 30%. And you have to put it away in such a way that it's not easily reachable. Yes, you can save under your mattress. Yes, you can save in a piggy bank in your house. But what happens when you need money? You take it out. Yes, you can save in a savings account in the bank. Again, you can withdraw it at any time. But you have to save in a way that this money, yes, you can get it, but not at the instance for you to go party Friday night, Saturday morning, or for you to buy unnecessary items once you're in the supermarket. And one way, talking about supermarkets, next time you go to a supermarket, I want you to check this. All the essential items are in the back rows, in the back shelves, and near the floor. All the useless items where you spend your money are at eye level. This is not by accident. They make sure that it's easily you're visible and for you to spend. And then the most useless items are near the checkout counter. So avoid those. Avoid those which are at the front of the supermarket. Avoid those that are at eye length and go down to the lower shelves. Go back to the back of the supermarket. That's where the essentials are. So you've saved 30%. How do you save this 30%? There are various tools that are available for you to save this money. Uh, could be money markets via bonds, shares, stocks, and these, if they are government bonds at BITS, you are essentially lending the government money, and you get a certain percentage profit at the end of the lending period. These can go as long as 10 years or 20 years, or they can go as short as 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. The money market, you get an interest on a daily basis, depending on the fluctuation in the foreign fund that you're investing in, whether it's pound sterling or Deutschmarks or dollars. In Kenyan country here, the two denominations are either pound sterling or US dollars. The other one is you can invest in savings and credit cooperative societies. This is one thing that our country, Kenya, has done very, very well in over the last more than 50 years. There has been tremendous growth on savings and credit cooperative societies. I'm going to call them SACCOs going forward. These SACCOs are arranged around a common bond. The common bond here could be the employer. The common bond could be a family unit. The common bond could be common business, whether like you're in the transport business, or you're in the clothing business, or you're in the service industry business like restaurants. That is the common bond. So people come together, and through their common bond, they have rules and regulations and policies in place, and where people save their money. Some of these SACCOs now have what we call FOSA, front office savings accounts, which are essentially banks, meaning that you can have your retail banking in your SACCO, but also you can also have a savings scheme. And it is structured in such a way that every period, and commonly in Kenya, it is on a monthly period. But some of the SACCOs, you can put in money daily. You put in money on a monthly period or daily or weekly, like a lot of the table banking SACCOs that most of the ladies have. And then you pool the resources together, and then the members are allowed to borrow um, X number of times their savings. Commonly, this is about 2 times to 3 times, maximum 4 times of their savings. Personally, and this is where I want to give my experience, is going way back to 1994 when our firstborn joined kindergarten. He was in a Montessori schooling system for his 2 years kindergarten, and the school was expensive. Expensive is relative. So at that time, it was, I think, about 5,000, 6,000 shillings per term, coming to about 18,000, which was very expensive for me at that time. But through regular savings in the SACCO where I was employed, I would take out a loan at the end of the year and pay off the school fees for the following year, meaning that I don't have to worry about the school fees, the tuition. I don't have to worry about books. I don't have to worry about uniform. I don't have to worry about medical expenses. And in that way, I have been able to educate all of our children, the first three at least, who grew up as one cohort, all the way to university, without checking higher education loans board or anything else. Now, in the following year, it means that even if we are uh, living on staple diet of ugali and vegetables, our children are going to very good schools, and we have been able to do that. Secondly, is that through this structured saving scheme, we have been able to save and invest in property. And in my earlier one of my earlier podcasts, I dedicated the extent to which we have done these savings over all this time, but also um, all play, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. We have also used these resources to go on vacation. Like this week, we are going on vacation. I'm not telling you where we are going on vacation, but we are going on vacation for 2 weeks. And so we also use the resources to also have a life. So SACCOs are one very important way of managing your finances. Third is to use your finances the moment you start working, start having a retirement plan. Let's assume you started working at the age of 24, and you're going to work to the age of 65. So that gives you 41 working years. You may think that's a lot of time starting now, but time flies. I look back and it just seems to me like it was just yesterday when I started working, and I've been working for almost 40 years now. Um, and it's time to slow down. Now, you see me doing this podcast from the office of Mahabara Africa Consultancy Group Limited, which I started this year. I'm the chief executive officer and the founder. Right now, I am acting as the um, executive person, but will be transitioning out in the next 1 year to a non-executive position. So, indeed, making money work for us, and it has worked over all this period of time. Now, um, investing in not only property but also investing in your health. So we've talked about having a retirement plan from that age where you started working at the age of 24. Now, assuming that you're going to be saving for 40 years, and right now you might think that at the end of the 40 years, like if you look at people now, people who have done this successfully and got maybe 10 million, 20 million shillings in their savings SACCO accounts, but that money, which may look like a lot of money right now, will be absolutely nothing in the next 20 to 30 years. So you're aiming, or you should aim, after investments, to have approximately 50 to 60 million Kenya shillings by the time you're retiring. You should be liquid, because let's assume that you have invested in property. That property will be giving you return on your investment in terms of rent, but you will not have spending money. It is important for you to have spending money, and something that you can very easily dispose of or get a hold of when you have medical emergencies and things like that. So in conclusion is to make sure that you start having a financial plan from the get-go. Don't wait for 2 years, don't wait for 3 years, don't wait for 4 years, because then you would have already formed a habit. Habits are formed ideally from 7 days to 1 year. And it takes long. It can take some habits to cement take longer for them to become a lifelong habit. So if you started from day one, then it means that within 2 years or 3 years, 4 years, you would have already formed these financial habits um, for you to last you a lifetime. I know that one of the questions that you may have is on tithing. And I've got very controversial opinion on tithing, and I've talked about this several times. Indeed, for those who are Christians and who believe in Christianity, um, the good book tells us to be tithing, but the book doesn't tell us to be tithing every pay period. It tells us to be tithing every 4 years. But here, these people tell you to tithe every week. I don't believe in that. I believe in giving my 10% directly um, by doing something solid for the church and giving my earthly parents. That's my father and my mother. And then after that, using the rest of the money to secure my financial freedom. Don't fall for these con artists who call themselves spiritual fathers or spiritual mothers. When they tell you, they need to build a new church, they need to buy a new jet for the pastor, they need to buy a new car, they need to buy this, they need to buy that. When they fall sick, they need to go abroad for medical treatment. But when you're sick, they pray for you. When you need a car, they pray for you. That's a con game. It's a lot of con game, and you're going to lose your money and you're going to be hooked onto these fellows. Stay away from them. Also, about the black tax, you're going to ask me that question. Black tax, essentially, we are obliged to lend a helping hand to our less fortunate members of society. It is good um, to give. It is very fulfilling. But this over time has changed from an Ubuntu a philosophy to a dependence and entitlement philosophy, where people sit back and have more children than they can afford. They don't work, they don't do anything, and depend on this one person who has secured their financial independence to give them handouts. No. And who these relatives could be anybody from your parents to your siblings, to distant uncles, aunties, and brothers and sisters. I always say that uh, our children are not our retirement plan. If you're taking your children to school, you're giving them a good education so that they will give you in return during a retirement. That is wrong. Stop doing that. Um, Invest in them so that they don't depend on you when they come of age. Parenting is, as my philosophy I believe in, is the only job in the world where when you're fired from that job, you've been successful. So how do you get fired from parenting? When your children no longer need money from you, when your children no longer call you, when not because you're toxic, but because they are able to survive and thrive on their own. You have trained them well. You have given them a good education. You have given them good financial instruction so they're able to go out there and thrive. So work towards getting fired as a parent. Work towards enjoying your old age, getting your financial freedom, getting your money to work for you. It starts from today going forward. It starts by you having financial discipline. Don't be the person to always be buying the extra round for people. Don't be the person to be sending transport money to people. Don't be the person who is a do-gooder. You'll be a do-gooder, but these people will not even come for your burial. And if they do come for your burial, they'll be coming to take selfies. Have financial freedom, enjoy yourself. Peace.